Hello and welcome. I am your host Itika, and today we are exploring a fascinating topic: how our emotions impact our health, and how holistic systems like bachelor therapy and homeopathy work with emotion to support healing. My guest today is Dr. Kavita Adhar, a practitioner in holistic health who has worked with both batch remedies and homeopathy to help people find their balance. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you, Etika. It is a privilege to be invited on this platform and to discuss such an interesting topic about the connection between our inner world and physical well being.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Let's start with the basics. How exactly do emotions influence our physical health?
Look, emotions are not just feelings that affect the mind, they affect our entire physical structure, our cells. They affect deep, they go deep inside our cells. Emotions, like for example, if a person is suffering from continuous chronic stress, so because of the stress, ultimately long term exposure to the stress can lead to rise in the cortisol level, and this cortisol level leads to the uh, uh, it decreases the immunity of the person. For example, it has been seen that in cases where a person is suffering from digestive troubles, those people, if you dig deep into their emotions, you'll find that they have a feeling of fear and insecurity in them. This fear and insecurity lead them to digestive problem, and if this is prolonged, then ultimately this can lead them to IBS kind of conditions. So yes, it is very true that our emotions, they affect deeply our physical health.
Some people say emotions are temporary. Why would they leave a long term imprint on the body?
Look, as I have already told you, like when we go through emotions, be it fear, be it depression, be it anger, so these emotions, they affects our hormones in the body. For example, depression can lead to low serotonin level, or high cortisol level, or we can say low DHEA or low testosterone or estrogen. When these hormones are affected, it affects the hormones, they affect the whole functioning of the body. So because of the stress, when this hormone is affected, it affects the whole system of the body, and then this vicious circle is being formed. Because of the depression, your hormones are affected, and because of the disbalance in the hormones, whole of your body metabolism is affected. And when prolonged, when it keeps on lingering with you for a long time, then it can take the shape of disease.
So, suppression of emotion is actually not good.
Not at all. Not at all. Long suppressed emotions will ultimately lead to a disease. Be it, I mean, any emotion, it affects your internal energy balance. And when this energy balance is being disturbed, then it affects the whole physiology of your body. And then ultimately it will manifest in the form of disease. For example, if you see cases of
Yeah.
diabetes, diabetes is always triggered by stress. High cholesterol, it is a result of stress. Lack of balance in the life, a poor lifestyle, lack of balance in your emotions, all this leads to stress, and then ultimately it can lead to high cholesterol and then further into heart diseases.
Okay, ma'am. Could you give us examples of illness that often have a emotional root?
Just now I told you about diabetes. Another very common example you can see, when there is a feeling that I cannot protect myself.
Hmm.
When anybody goes through that feeling, then it manifests on your body in the form of skin diseases. When there is fear, that leads to digestive problems. That those patients can have cramps, bloating, hyperacidity, and IBS. If a person is in habit of criticizing others, so it has been seen that these kind of patients, they have joint problems, they develop arthritis. If you are being overwhelmed by the responsibilities on you, then such patients suffer from shoulder pain. If you have a feeling that you are not being supported, you have complaint of lower back pain. So this is how, I mean, in homeopathy, because we don't only see the outcome, which is the disease, we have to see from where it has begun. So we, while taking the case, we go deep into the patient's mind, understand from where this thing has arisen, and that is how then we give, considering the mental picture and the physical picture, then we take up medicine, give a medicine to the patient.
Interesting. But how do we know this isn't just coincidence? Couldn't it be that someone is stressed and just happens to have migraine?
Look, migraine is repeated episodes of headache.
Yeah.
Okay. So if something is happening again and again, then it can not be only because of certain environmental factor or an acute cause.
Yeah.
There has to be a disbalance in the body which get triggers very often, and that leads to the symptom.
Okay.
This is in case of every disease. So if a person is suffering from migraine, maybe that person is in a situation where the person doesn't feel that he or she can express herself properly, and there's suppressed anger. So whenever any situation comes where they feel that they are not able to express their exact emotion, then it leads to migraine kind of symptoms or headache. Or even it can manifest in other forms also. They can have gastric upsets also, regular gastric upsets. It can affect the liver.
Okay.
So it depends on person to person how a emotion has affected which part of the body. That is why in homeopathy, it is not that for a disease you have a medicine. It is for every individual patient you have a medicine, which depends on what has led, what kind of emotions had brought him here, the kind of which considers the environment, the physical build, and the emotions. Based on all these three factors, then we select the medicine.
Okay, ma'am. Let's move to bachelor therapy. For those new to it, what exactly it is?
Bachelor therapy was developed by Dr. Edward Bach, who was himself a homeopath, and he very strongly believed that behind every illness there is an emotion. And he developed 38 medicines based on which he has which are being given on the basis of emotion. He has classified the medicines into 7 basic groups, or I would say 7 basic emotions. They are like fear, uncertainty, loneliness, and lack of interest. Then there is despair and discouragement, and then there is like oversensitivity and overcare for others. These are the basic emotions on which he has categorized the medicines. So depending on which feeling predominates a patient, a backflower is given to that patient.
Okay. So critics says these are just drops of water with no active ingredient. How do you respond over this?
Look, definitely the medicines are very subtle, but homeopathy medicines are like they are made to work on the energetic field. The basic process of making homeopathic medicine is dynamization or potentization. It is a
Okay.
process in which the latent curative power of the medicine is being increased, and that is being administered to the patient. So the essence of the crude substance is very less in the medicine. It is only the energetic field that works on the patient. So though the conventional medicine, they a lot of times say that homeopathy works as a placebo, but when given to the patient, maybe of anxiety or depression or any other disease, if the patient is feeling calm, he can sleep well, he is feeling happy, and at the same time we find that the laboratory findings are improving, so it's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
You can't call it a placebo, it's working. That is why patients are taking. And as a matter of fact, most of the patients come to homeopathy only when they are discouraged by the other conventional methods of healing.
True.
So if they are feeling better, then definitely you can't call it a placebo. It works. It works on a different field, which may not be convincing to most of the conventional allopathic physicians.
True. Can you give practical examples like which remedies might help with certain emotions?
Example of which, bach flower or homeopathy?
Bachelor.
Bach flower, like I would say, for fear or panic situation, we have the first very important remedy, rock rose. Rock rose can be given in cases where there is a sudden trauma or terror to the patient. They are not able to relate themselves to the reality, what has just happened. They are not able to accept. So in that case, rock rose will help. Aspen is a very good medicine for panic attacks. Then mimulus, where the patient knows that in certain situation that patient usually feels uncomfortable. So before facing the situation, the patient becomes anxious. So in that cases, mimulus is very helpful. Then maybe for um, transition periods in life, like maybe from menopause or puberty, where there is a change, walnut is a very good medicine. Or maybe there is a change of place and the patient is not able to accept that easily. Ever since the position has been, the place has been changed, the patient is suffering from some disease. So, for emotional feelings, for emotional symptom, walnut can be given. Obviously, for the other symptom, then homeopathy along with bach flower should be given to such cases.
So
So there are
can
lots
we
of medicines. Yeah.
yeah. So can we skip the medical treatment and rely just on bachelors?
No. Bach flowers, they 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 predominantly cover only the emotional aspect. Okay, but as I said that while you are giving a homeopathy medicine, you consider the mental picture plus the physical picture of the patient. Okay, so if the disease which has been caused by environment and lifestyle, then the whatever the picture of the disease is, suppose a person is having uh, joint pains. Okay, so that person is having joint pain is better by moving, worse at rest. For that we have a medicine, Rustox. Okay, but at the same time, if a patient has a very temperament which is like he gets angry very often, quite often. Okay, here, so for that we can give cherry plum along with Rustox. Cherry plum is bach flower remedy, and for the physical symptom, Rustox may be given along with it. Right.
So it
So
is a
we
more of a support to your base medicine which is given
yes,
in homeopathy.
exactly.
yet homeopathy is criticized for as a placebo. And how do practitioners address that?
I don't think one has to really slog to prove that no, we are not placebo. Our patient speaks for themselves. The result speaks for themselves. So we don't have to prove it to anyone. Anybody who is into homeopathic practice and has been working sincerely for quite some time now and has a good experience, they have lot many cases in their hands, which show that yes, there is marked improvement in the cases. The steroids of the patients, they have stopped. So I mean, the case speaks for itself. We don't have to slog for it for our
Even the lab reports speak themselves.
yeah.
Could you
Lab
share?
reports are good.
Yeah. Could you share some remedies specifically linked to emotions in homeopathy?
Homeopathy, okay. Like Natramure. Natramure is suitable for patients who suffer from silent grief. Suppose if somebody has expired in the family and a close relative did not cry, did not express their emotion at that time, and ever since that death, the patient is suffering from maybe skin disease or headache or any other complaint. So, considering the physical symptom as well as the mental picture, to such cases, Natramure may be helpful. Ignitia is given for acute panic attacks. Like if suppose there is any kind of argument between the friends or argument in your office, and suddenly you start feeling anxiety, breathlessness, a lot of sighing is there, then for that cases, Ignitia is helpful. In cases like where there is suppression of anger, you can find it a lot of such cases in corporate world. There's a lot of suppression of anger. So in those cases, Staphylos aureus is a very good medicine. For maybe cases like if somebody is feeling nervous before going for an exam or on a stage for a performance, there's a lot of anticipation. For those cases, Argentum nitricum is a very good medicine. A child who is going through dentition, is suffering from diarrhea, is very irritable and cross. For those children, Chamomilla works as a wonder. There are a lot of medicines. I mean, there's a whole list of medicine. Homeopathy is very vast.
How can we compare bachelor therapy and homeopathy?
I mean, both have similar principle, but I mean, bachelor remedy, there's only 38 remedies, but homeopathy is very vast. And secondly, bachelor remedies are given only on emotional basis. It helps to bring back the emotional balance of the patient, while the homeopathic medicine, they help to correct the whole picture of the patient. They take care of the physical symptom, they consider the physical build of the patient, their general physical while giving the homeopathic medicine, we do ask patient about their appetite, about their motions, about their thermal reactions, whether the patient feels hot, cold, or cold more. We consider all these things along with the emotions. So the spectrum of homeopathy is wider as compared to bachelor remedy, but they do complement each other. When given together, they do better for the patient.
So it actually helps homeopathy to perform more faster, better. Bachelor when combined with homeopathy.
As I said, they complement each other. Yeah. In homeopathy, you can't stick to one single medicine for a patient throughout the case, unlike allopathy. in homeopathy, when a medicine is given, or even if patch flower remedy is given, then after giving it for a period, we have to reconsider, reevaluate all the symptoms of the patient, and then whatever the presenting picture of the patient is now, then based on that, another medicine should be given. That could be a complementary medicine to the previous medicine, or a set of medicine which follows well to the previously given medicine.
Now, how does homeopathy differ from allopathy in addressing the emotional root cause?
I mean, the basic principle in homeopathy is like, we consider person as a whole. It's a mind, body, and vital force. Okay, and vital force is the invisible energy that is present in all of us. Some can call it spirit, soul, or as our Indian philosophy says, there are chakras. So whenever there is a disbalance in this energy field, it manifests, the body expresses it as a disease. So the disbalance of the energy, which could be because of the emotions and the environment and the genetic factor, that leads to the end result, which is called disease. But for allopaths, a organ is not functioning well, that is why the person is suffering. So it's like our philosophies are totally opposite. We say that the organ becomes ill, is not functioning well because of the disbalance in the energy. They say that because the organ has malfunction, that is why you are having the symptom. So the basic uh, approach towards the disease is different for both of us. And again, the protocol also, for every disease, they have a fixed set of medicines which they give depending on the symptoms. And we give medicine depending on the considering the emotions as well as the physical symptoms. So our medicines changes from time to time. We can't keep on saying that for diabetes you have to take this medicine for throughout your life. No, it's not fixed in homeopathy.
So, as the symptoms get less, the medicine changes accordingly.
The medicine also changes, and also the dose of the medicine, that also changes. I mean, a patient need not take a dose of medicine as frequently as it was given initially. It can be always changed according to the present symptoms. There is no dependency on any medicine in homeopathy.
Okay. For listeners who are struggling with emotional imbalance, where should they start? Therapy, remedies, or lifestyle? What are your views over it?
Look, the first thing is, at least first recognize that you're suffering. Accept that you need help, and then work towards it. Now, for every patient, same set of things might not suit. Like some people are good at meditation, some cannot sit even for 5 minutes for meditation. So, whatever suits you, meditation is the best. For those who can't sit for meditation initially, they should like try to vent out their energy more into physical activities. Maybe they should join dance classes, do more of exercise, and once they feel that yes, now they can take a control over their emotions, then they should meditate. Journaling always helps. It always helps. So that is, everybody should start doing journaling. They vent out your emotions. No need that they should not feel that anybody should read it. Just write it and throw it away. You just have to vent out your emotions. Accept that you need help. Take medications. Don't feel ashamed for it. Go to friends. Talk to people about it. It helps. I mean, a social support, it does help. Never hesitate. So, along with it, Once you are settled with all this, also take follow a disciplined lifestyle, sleep well, take nutritious diet, make changes in your diet, what suits you, what makes you comfortable. So it is a like collection of all the efforts, but do step by step. Nobody can do it all once, all at once. Okay, so start from accepting, meditating, physical activity, journaling, lifestyle management, and diet management.
If all these are so effective, then why to add these remedies at all?
Look, I mean, remedies, if the person was so conscious about, or he was so well balanced that he could accept that he is suffering, then maybe he did these problems would not have even arisen in him.
True.
Okay, so once obviously the patient was not in a emotional balance that he could accept that he has a problem. So just to bring him back to that balance, or help him attain that balance, remedies are essential.
Can
Once person will start taking the remedies, that good feeling will come to him, and then that person will be able to take other measures, accept other measures more appropriately. So yes, that is why remedies are important. And more so because while we do homeopathic case taking, it also does a lot of counseling. So it is really helpful for the patient.
yes, counseling does help. So, can you share a story where addressing emotion improved physical health of the patient?
I mean, there's a very recent case where a person, she was working in a very good company, and we all know that nowadays there are a lot of layoffs. So from a very high position, all of a sudden she had to face a layoff. So because of the layoff, she became irritated, she had anger, then she had insomnia, plus palpitations, there was loss of appetite. So based on all this, I started with Star of Bethlehem, which is a batch flower remedy, which is for sudden shock, plus Heather, because she had a feeling that now that she is not earning that much, so she is not getting that respect in the family. So Heather is for people who crave for recognition. So combination of SOB and Heather was given to her. Then Ignitia was given to her SOS. Eventually, she started feeling better, and with that, she also started other things like she joined the gym. So after few weeks, her sleeping patterns had improved, her appetite improved, she was feeling better. So yeah, there are many such cases. There are cases of allergic cough where the patient had been on an anti-allergic for quite long time, but every time she stopped anti-allergic, she had episodes of cough. So eventually she came to homeopathy, and because at that time she was very much discouraged by the kind of treatment she had gone through, she had feared that maybe her case will never improve. So on basis of this, I started with gentian, a batch flower remedy. Then, considering her totality of symptom, I gave her sepia, a homeopathic medicine, and Drosera was given to her. That is also homeopathic medicine for cough. Was given to her SOS, and for past 6 months she is doing really well. In fact, she has stopped with the medication, even the homeopathic medication, and she is well. A lot of cases of skin. We have a lot of cases of skin with homeopathy. The warts are gone. The seborrheic dermatitis has improved. Homeopathy and batch flower combination, they do help.
has been such a rich conversation. We have learned that emotions are not just feelings but forces that shape health. Bachelor therapy offers gentle support for emotional balance, while homeopathy integrates the emotional and physical in a unique way. Dr. Kavita, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Where can listener connect with you or learn about more about these therapies?
You can connect with me on my Instagram, and bachelor remedies. Now a lot many people, they do regular sessions for bachelor remedies. They can join them if they want. And it has been a pleasure talking to you, and helping people understand that yes, they should, whenever they are suffering from emotions, first recognize it, that fear, anger, jealousy, insecurity, these are not healthy emotions, and they can ultimately lead to diseases. So why not work at the very root? While we are suffering from these emotions, start working on that, those emotions at the right time, so that you don't have any other deformity or any other disease later in life.
Wonderful. And to our listeners, take a moment today to check in with yourself. How are your emotions shaping your health? Thank you for joining.